when the tickers get high. Charge do the wave like they know I'm that guy. Woo! Bulls break loose when I whisper a trade. Your stock's in the red, guess who got paid? Ha! Strutting and swayed with the alligator boots. Come on! Got your lady by the waist, now she loving my moves. Yeah! Ticker tape fall like confetti in the air. I make a bear turn bull with a devilish stare. Woo! Velvet Kohrs. Feather in the hat, diamonds in the door. Velvet Kohrs. Turn one into 10 and flip it some more. Velvet Kohrs. Cash like waves keep crashing the shore. Velvet Kohrs. Top of the game, better check the scoreboard. That Midas touch, every bet go gold. While you playing checkers, I'm running the whole board. Damn. Limit up, limit down, baby, I don't flinch. Yeah, dipped in velvet, pockets deep like a trench. Woo! Got my feet on the dash, Wall Street's on my line. Ring, ring. Saying velvet, how you do it, every call so divine. Told him, listen, little player, I was born to shine. I see green every morning when I open my eyes. Ooh, they jealous of the game. Yeah. Velvet Kohrs. Ooh, they whispering my name. Velvet Kohrs. Charts go wild when I step on the floor. Velvet Kohrs. Trend so hot, gotta mop up the floor. Velvet Kohrs. If I cash out, market begs me for more. Velvet Kohrs. Drip too clean, yeah, my game too pure. Y'all ain't never seen a player this cold. Velvet Kohrs. Stealing your girl, printing money in gold. Velvet Kohrs. From the charts to the clubs, my legend unfolds. Just watching while my pockets explode.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Folks, whoa. Folks, it's going to be one of those days. It's going to be one of those days. I don't know what you guys are up to, but it is time for us here in the Goonie community to celebrate. Did the week, particularly Thursday, Friday, end rough for me? It did. It did. You guys know, especially if you're in the Discord, you guys know on stream, I was carrying quite a few puts into quadruple witching, and it just did not work out for me. Around noon on Friday, I had one opportunity for that breakdown. We put in a higher low, and I had to throw in the white towel and admit I was wrong. It didn't matter what lucky shirt I was wearing. It didn't matter what market gods I was praying to. It was out of my control. And I figured, hey, what would a reasonable degenerate gambler like myself do in this situation? I came into it. It was a bad beat. It was a good trade, bad beat. The bad part was the fact that I went probably triple the size that I should have. Hello? It's probably the fact that I went triple the size I should have, you know? It happens. And, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And like any good gambler, I just did the math on it. I didn't really do it in real time, but what are you doing? I took about $92,000. I took about just south of $100,000, and I punted it long. And I actually didn't know it was that number until right now, and I kind of didn't want to know the number because I knew it was large. And then I left, and I was meeting some buddies over the weekend, like, how much did you do? I was like, probably shouldn't think about it. It feels like I'm on tilt. But it's actually pretty awesome to wake up to a circumstance like this where you punt your portfolios absurdly hard, absurdly long, and then we get a gigantic gap up. Dude, this is what it's about. You could go from the lowest of low feeling last week where I probably lost somewhere like in the realm of, I don't even know, 50-ish, 75-ish K, and then turn it all around. Hey, what are you doing? What are we doing? And just the dopamine that floods your system. There's nothing on it. Like you couldn't bottle. If you could bottle this feeling up and sell it, you'd be the world's richest person. I am just absurdly flooded with dopamine. My brain can't handle it right now. You got lucky, dude. Hey, if you could be lucky or skillful, I'd be lucky every single day of the week. Brother, what's the difference? We're in the world's largest. You tell me the difference. You tell me the difference. You got lucky. Dude, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Talk to my bank account about it. Talk to my portfolio about it. You got lucky. You know, I seem to get lucky an awful lot, brother. Awful lot there. Dude, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Dude, we're going to have a good day. We're going to have a great day. It's going to be fun. The SPY gapping up about 1.3%. You have the Qs gapping up about 1.6%. As everyone in the Discord knows, these numbers have not updated yet. I had $19,000 on NDX calls, the NASDAQ 100, $25,000 on SPX calls. I had about another $18,500 on Tesla calls. And then in a different account, I had another $29,000 of SPX calls. So by the time you do all the numbers, and once again, these haven't updated. They were slightly green. I got it midday on Friday, so up a nice 29%, 26%, and 12% on all of this. But that was as of market close on Friday. So I'm very, very excited to see where this opens today. And obviously, we're going to give you guys the rundown of why this is happening. But the TLDR is kind of what I've been pitching to you guys for the past 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, I don't think anyone is there another financial influencer who has been right about this whole thing? Seriously. I mean, for weeks now, I was saying somewhere between March OPEX, which was on Friday, and the start of April, that's the bottom to go long, and we're getting crazy. And it just so happens that, remember when I was saying the caveat of, okay, pay attention to not only what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, but also the tariff situation. If we get the big bang boom, the combo, the 1, 2, 3 knockout setup of all of a sudden the March quarterlies, OPEX gone, the triple quadruple witching, we take all that put gamma, the delta, remove it from the table. They expire, they burn off. If that is then rapidly in succession followed by the ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, and on top of that, the tariff situation calming down, we are setting up to explode. Seriously, I've been pitching this since the start of March on the streams, on the videos. It's all documented. And we just happen to be playing out absurdly perfectly to this situation. Where's your spacesuit? I actually have 2 spacesuits. I appreciate you asking, but it's really, really hot to wear those. Hey, dude. Piper's on the one keyboard that's trading. That could have been disastrous. But anyway, it's a little too hot, and I'm jacked up. Blood pressure through the roof, heart rate through the roof, ripping my 19th shot of espresso right now. It just seemed it'd be a sweatsuit for me today, and that didn't quite seem necessarily worth it. It was definitely a sleepless weekend, knowing that I took an absurd risk. And it just so happens that the absurd risk is paying off. So it's gonna be one of those days. So obviously we have a lot to chit chat about. I would ask you, put on whatever your safest space traveling gear is, because we are fucking ripping it at warp speed. So I highly recommend putting on your safety suit, because we are going through the cosmos. And as we are on this venture, we do have quite a few things to chit chat about. So let me get this all switched up and let's get into it. Dow futures jumped more than 400 points on reports Trump will hold back some tariffs. Obviously, we're going to be breaking that down, but there is other news we got to get into. Russia and U.S. teams meet after Ukraine holds a quote-unquote productive talking session. So that's another piece of positive news. It's not as good as you might think it is. U.S. hopes for a Ukraine peace deal as Putin seems in no hurry. So basically that's telling us don't hold our breath on it, because for whatever reason, it does seem like Putin is not necessarily rushing it. But obviously, in terms of over the past couple of years, we are the closest to this ceasefire deal than we've ever been. So that's another piece of uncertainty that if we take it out of the system, will most likely be beneficial for the overall global system, the global economy, and thus really directly the U.S. stock market. Trump's tax bill takes center stage as GOP debates scope of cuts. So this is not related to tariffs, but it's just something we should all be paying attention to anyway. Congressional Republicans are negotiating a massive tax bill package to deliver to President Donald Trump a signature legislative victory, aiming to cut tax bills by trillions of dollars. The party must agree on the overall size of the package, which tax elements to include, and how to offset the cost. So blah, blah, blah. Boring government shit that you guys are already most likely well aware of. I just wanted to let you know it's actively on the table right now. So these are, I would say, some of the secondary things. The tertiary thing going on, Chuck Schumer rejects calls to step down as Senate Democratic leader. Apparently they don't want him anymore, but he's like, hey, I'm making way too much money. I'm enjoying the power way too much. I ain't going anywhere. So just wanted to bring that up before we release it up directly for what's going on in the market. To get going, I do want to remind you we are in the final week of the full trading week of March, which also happens to be the calendar corner. Obviously, in terms of like market stuff, it really, the derivatives, they did expire last week. But I do want to let you know that the final portion of March from a seasonal standpoint is historically bullish, and all of April is historically bullish. And that brings me to something exciting. So what I just showed you is over the past 25 to 30-ish years. Over the past 5 years, more recent data, this is the monthly view of obviously every single month. But if we come into the weekly, this is what jumps out to me. This is over the past 5 years. Right now, the week we are in is the second most bullish week over the entire year. The week we are in right now, over the past 5 years, from a seasonal perspective, this is the second most bullish week of the entire year, with the most bullish week being, I don't know, somewhere seemingly, I guess, in November. Looks like that. Maybe late October. I don't know, somewhere in there. We'll talk about that months from now when we get much closer. But I just want to let you know, from a seasonal standpoint, there's obviously very supportive tailwinds for the bullish direction. Is seasonality the end all be all? No. I always remind you guys, it's just odds. Like, there could be a high odds situation that doesn't play out, but it's still high odds for a reason. There is a saying within the market that it doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes, which is why it's always good to know, are the bulls or the bears being supported by tailwinds or running into headwinds? Right now, the bull camp is being supported by tailwinds, and the bear camp definitely running into some seasonal headwinds. This particular week, this particular year, not talking about the past 5 years, not talking about the past 3 decades. Obviously, every single day of the week, we do have major macroeconomic events. Today, we have the U.S. Global Manufacturing and Services PMI. Tomorrow, we're going to get consumer confidence at 10 a.m. We have durable goods on Wednesday. We have the GDP and the initial jobless claims on Thursday. And then Friday this week, we have a big old inflation report. So those, every single day of this week has something you should be paying attention to. But I would argue the most important ones are on Thursday and Friday of this week, which then brings us to today specifically. So yes, pay attention at 9:45. We're going to have some numbers coming out, but this is apparently the star of the show today. The White House narrows the April 2nd tariffs. This was reported, obviously, by the Wall Street Journal. And as soon as it was, that's when the market said, cool, that's the exact spark we need to rip to kingdom come. Tariffs on industrial sectors no longer expected to be unveiled on that date, though major trading partners will still be hit with reciprocal tariffs. So what's going on? Why is this being interpreted as a bullish update? Well, we all had this idea of what reciprocal tariffs were going to be. This is where the bar was set, and they're not that extreme. The tariffs are on a relative basis, not as, I guess, big in scope. And because of that, the market says, sick, that's exactly what we needed, a reason to rip on top of the ceasefire, on top of the fact that we're past the March OPEC. So really the only other thing in the tank right now that I would say is worthwhile to be paying attention to is the fact that the JP Morgan position, the put side of their collar position, remember collar involves three different things, calls, puts, and the underlying. The put side is at 5565. So if we get close there, it could definitely act as a magnet. It does expire at the end of this week, but we're really not that close to it. So the gamma implications right now are probably negligible. So that's one thing that I really don't think we have to worry about. The only other thing is there going to be a surprise related to the April 2nd tariffs? Are we going to get a random tweet, update, anything like that from the president, his team, the administration, I don't know, his economic council, someone like that, Howard Luckman, anyone, just anyone that's kind of like in the know? Are they going to say something along the lines of, actually, we're going back to where we thought we would? If that happens, it's going to be problematic. But if they keep lowering it and then all of a sudden maybe we get something like a pretty good inflation report, what if inflation drops? Man, oh man, I think April is truly, as of now, I think the highest probability pathway, not a guarantee, but I believe the highest probability pathway is truly just to rip to kingdom come. U.S. Treasuries fall on signs that Trump will dilute the April tariff. So Treasuries down, but stonks
up. Why don't you
up.
give us the headlines and what's changed relative to expectations going into next week?
Well, John, the biggest headline appearing to be that the White House is no longer planning to implement those sector-specific tariffs on April 2nd. As you know, these were tariffs against specific sectors that President Trump had singled out, including on autos, pharmaceuticals, lumber, and chips. To give you an example of how quickly this has changed, it was exactly 1 week ago today, March 17th, when President Trump told reporters coming back on Air Force One that we could have expected those sector-specific tariffs to be stacked on top of the reciprocal tariff plan. Now, at this moment, it does not appear that they are moving ahead with that on April 2nd, but it could come later. And then the other important part of this reporting is that it now appears that the broader reciprocal tariff plan could be pared back and that some countries could be excluded if they don't have tariffs on the U.S. or they run a trade surplus. Importantly, NEC Director Kevin Hassett said on Friday that he felt that markets needed to change their expectations because not every country cheats the U.S. with trade, as he said. But to be clear, that has not been the messaging until really last week when we saw Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent say that we could expect them to target the so-called dirty 15, the top 15% of our trading partners that make up the bulk of the imbalance with the U.S. here. John, importantly, though, we should note that these tariffs could still result in levels not seen in the U.S. in decades, and this White House really is banking on tariffs bringing in revenue. But at the same time, this is considered to be a more tailored and narrowed down approach.
All right, so you get the idea. The TLDRs, tariffs not as extreme as we thought they were at the end of last week, so trending in a more favorable position. This is kind of a side point. You can find this on Bloomberg. I think it's just a really useful graphic. Feel free to search this, tracking every Trump tariff and its economic effect. If you want to see the true breakdown between imposed, threatened, and suspended, the world, EU, China, Canada, Mexico, of where it's actually hitting, where it might be hitting, and just the actual numbers behind it. This is the first time I saw it, and shout out to Bloomberg. I actually think this is a really good tariff to give you the exact percentages, what's being impacted, because you might be surprised to find out that in this day and age, there's a lot of things being said on the internet that aren't actually true. They're a little bit far, they're adjacent to reality, if you will. So if you're a person who actually wants the exact details of the numbers and who it's impacting and the industries it's impacting, the imposed, the threatened, or the suspended ones, I think this is a phenomenal tariff. Feel free to check it out. But what I just really jumped out to me here is I feel like a lot of the talk with Canada specifically is dominating the airwaves. I just feel like it's always what's going on with Canada, when in reality, the Canada-Mexico combo is way smaller than China, way smaller than the EU, and just on a ratio basis, it's incredibly small related to the tariffs globally. So as much as Canada and Mexico are getting a lot of talking time, you should understand that it is far, far small compared to China and the EU. So I just wanted to bring that up. I know we're talking quite a bit about the overall market ripping for good reason. It is ripping, but I want to talk about Tesla. And I have a question for all of you. If you guys happen to see the update video yesterday, dude, I got ripped apart. There were so many people just saying they want Trump to, or it's not Trump. They want Elon Musk, because of his connection with Trump, to lose all of his money, Tesla to fail, which I guess they're hoping that literally tens of thousands of people lose their jobs. We have this video of Tim Walz, wanting it to go down. So I guess I just don't get it, because if anything, and I explained this more thoroughly in the update video yesterday, I think Tesla is primed to make a lot of money for a lot of people going back to the upside. And obviously I put my money where my mouth is. I have a huge position on it. In fact, I put, how much money did I put on this? $18,500 on it. And I was already up 12%. Obviously it's working out well, but I guess I need a little bit of information for you guys of why did I just get so, like, I just got ripped apart. If you read the messages, people really, really wanted to get messed up. Obviously, Tesla's not reporting, but I do want to let you know, you can check this out from @eWhispers to get this graphic of the earnings for this week. But that brings me to the overall Tesla point. So where it first came on my radar is the failed vice presidential candidate, Tim Walz, was saying this on stage.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping.
He's super stoked that it's going down.
And if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss.
All right, so he's literally cheering on the fact that it's going down because he has to placate the left-leaning side of politics right now of like basically anything Elon does because of his connection with Trump has to be bad. But it's gotten so out of control that he's cheering on the fall of Tesla, even though it's hurting his own constituents. Minnesota owns 0.5% of all of Tesla. State of Minnesota's Tesla investments as of June of 2024, 1.6 million shares. As that dropped 50% from its high, as it lost 35% year to date, obviously his own people are getting hit and he's literally cheering it on. And since then, of course, he's backtracked and said, no, it was just a joke. I'm just joking. I would have never seriously meant that. Blows my mind that this is the state of politics of anything for a good soundbite, anything you can say because your tribe is telling you one person is bad, so you have to cheer on their failure, even though it's hurting your own people, even though you're hurting the biggest automaker in the world that happens to be a U.S. company, even though you're cheering on the misstep of a company that employs tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. And they're like, yeah, that's let's just cheer that. It blows my fucking mind. So anyway, I saw that and I was like, well, I know how the internet works and the internet loves to troll a troll. So I looked at the stock and I said, okay, there's an interesting chance of this low on Tuesday the 18th being a higher low. Like maybe this is a bottoming formation. You really don't know until really this morning we're waking up and it clearly is a double bottom, maybe just like a double bottom like reversal, something like that. Of course it's setting up. And I guess I pitched it, and like I said, this was more thoroughly explained in the video, that's just a good risk reward trade. You're taking on this amount of risk, whether the Tuesday low or the previous Tuesday low, for a potential return up to 300, potential return up to 360. I'm pitching it as an active trade of just it's reasonable risk reward. And I said, okay, minimal risk, higher reward. We know that Wall Street are going to, like, especially the retail sector, is going to love to dunk on Tim Walz. Then I looked at the shorts and I said, wow, there's actually $16.8 billion betting against this stock as the short interest is continuing to climb over the past couple weeks. So if it does go up, these people are going to be under pressure. And then all of a sudden, we have Tim Walz saying negative things, but then we have Howard Lutnick, the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, actually telling people to buy Tesla. So I was trying to put that all together, and then I went over to the options chain on Tesla, and I realized that people are just loading the boat in the shorter time frame, the next month or two, on the 275s. Where did my Tesla go? Here, I'll just bring this up. 275 and 300s. 275 as of right now is like the one that really caught my attention in terms of the strike price being played. But 300 is also getting some action depending on like what particular expiration point you're looking at. So obviously I already showed you, I put my money where my mouth is, but I wanted to lean on you guys to like try to understand, especially if you go to the YouTube video. I really didn't show this. Matt is showing bias, but I'm showing bias of making money. My bias is to where can money be made. So I guess, is that a bias? I guess technically you could define that as a bias, but I'm putting together the puzzle pieces of where money could be made. And I think right now, as you see every single political cycle, people are putting their own political bias in the way of them making good money. And to me, this opportunity right now is no different. I mean, but seriously, go check out those YouTube comments on the video. People were just, they very, very much want Musk to fail and the company to fail, which is like, that's just like a really scummy thing to hope for. It just blows my mind. Trump allies pressed the White House to dial back Elon Musk's media interviews over his Social Security jab. So it is getting to the point. Actually, there's Letnick right now, who just last week was telling people to buy. So obviously it's politically divisive. Most of the things, the truth is going to be somewhere in the middle. We don't really live in a black and white world, but I just wanted to point out the short interest, what's going on with the story, what's going on with the technicals, what's going on with the open interest. Obviously, I thought it was a good enough opportunity to strike, and that's obviously exactly what I did. So we could come back to that when the market opens. We have 2 minutes to go. I just wanted to remind you, sign up for the newsletter. It is free. It's always been free, always will be free. MacroSoutlocals.com. I break down the week, all the earnings, all the major macroeconomic events. The major thing of today is at 9:45. We get the S&P Global Manufacturing and Services PMI, and then we have a very exciting week overall. So I think that's going to be a good time. I really, really do. With it, I do want to let you know, from over the past 27 years, today has been favored by the bears, but the remainder of the week, bullish, 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 and then on Friday, a little bit more bearish. So I just wanted to share that with all of you, of the setup on the day. And then I also wanted to show you something interesting here of the amount. Let me zoom in and then let me update to show you guys where we're at. There is a huge amount of positive gamma at 5750. So I jumped into that, and then I did the additional breakdown of all the levels we should probably be paying attention to. So as of right now, we're scheduled to open around 5733. 5733. So roughly where my cursor is. We're going to have that much of a gap up. If this is pulled off, if we hold that, there is a little bit of action at 5725, so that might be support, but then there's quite a bit more open interest at 5,700. Obviously, if that fails, we're talking about Friday's high and Friday's closing value. That's if a lot of these calls that were swung over the weekend by people like me end up getting monetized. On the flip side, 5750 is a huge open interest level. If we were able to break that, I'd be watching 5775. And then from there, we're legitimately talking about all the way up here at 5,825. Remember, we're kind of far from it, but the green, the red, and the white are the high, the low, and the close of the previous trading session. All of these yellow lines are the major open interest levels. This is what the options market is currently playing. These dashed ones are important, but they're just not as big or popular as the other ones. So feel free to screenshot this. Feel free to do what you want with it, but dude, we might be setting up for a crazy day. My first bullish breakout is 5750, and then I would say more of the bearish breakdown would be if it cannot hold 5,700. So this is the bull case, this is the bear case, and obviously let's play this accordingly. What I'm kind of hoping is just that the bulls don't run for the exit right out of the gate, which thus far, minute one, is not necessarily bringing me much hope at the exact moment. But let's see. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Remember, it's just money. You can't take it with you when you go anyway. All right, what are we going to get going here? So SPX, watching that, 5728 is currently where we're trading. We do know, like I said, 5725, there's a decent amount of open interest right at this level, so it might be support. If it can't hold, if there's too much calls just being locked in, people hitting the cash register, don't be surprised if we come down to 5,700. But I'm kind of watching this zone, but I think the real test of the day, according to the options market, is right here. 5,750. I mean, it is a giant gamma level. There's a lot of sold calls there, and it'll be a tough battle. Now, if we can break it, that gets really, really interesting, because from there, there's some open interest up here at 5,775, but really above that, the next biggest one is all the way up at 5,825. So remember, it's always, again, of a game of like an if-then statement. Like, If this breaks out, if this breaks down, that's the plan. Obviously, right now, the bulls are dominant. Not only did we have a gap up, but price momentum bullish, 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 bullish. We're going to be checking the flow here. Let me go to the 5-second. We have, I assume, some calls being locked in. Yeah, right here. The green and the orange dropping. That is calls locking in. And we have a little bit of put buying. Maybe people are trying to revert it. But right now, I think that's just more of the dangerous play because for quite a while, people were looking for any reason to be buying this dip. And I think they're legitimately starting to get a reason now. So I can't make this more clear. What I am looking for is, can the market break and hold 5,750? If we can, I think we have a very exciting day, but also there's a very real probability we don't break it because there's so much open interest there. I mean, you could see it. This is all from spot gamma. You could zoom out. Like, it's just such a huge positive gamma node, which just basically means by the time we get up there, the only way we break it is if natural buyers come into the market, because the market makers are going to kind of treat this as a magnet. They might pull us up into it, but by the time we try to break away, it'll pull us back down. Remember, when you're in this positive gamma of an environment, the market makers are mean reverting. As if you go up, they're selling. If you go down, they're buying. It's mean reverting to this black hole of a situation. So if we have enough momentum, enough energy to actually break and push, well, that's when we're kind of talking about more of my real, this is, I guess, bull target number 1, 5750. Bull target number 2 is 5775. And then bull target number 3 is 5825. But this is where today's going to be decided. Now, on the flip side of it, if we fail at any of these, we're watching 5,700 and then the downside gap fill. So that's obviously the bull case. This is obviously the bear case. Right now, I do believe the bulls have the upper hand. The 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, the 4-hour, all that stuff is bullish. So that's my own bias. But of course, it's my bias because, we forgot to check. Nice waking up to an additional $42,000, up 100%, 93%, and 73%. So 19K, 23K, 13K. And then on top of that, I was swinging another position that I'm up another, I guess, 39, 38,000. I think the most I saw this morning was 42. So how much is that in total? It just is a lot of money. We're almost at 100K, but we'll see. The Q's taking a little bit of a hit. Obviously, I'm watching Tesla and MSTR just because they were up quite a bit this morning. MSTR up 5. Well, Tesla's a little bit more. Tesla's up 5.6. MSTR is up 5.3. You have Meta up a good chunk. You have Palantir up a good chunk. Netflix is actually break even. I find that surprising. Adventure Joe gifted 1. Oh, shout out, dude. That's so nice of you. PMI in 10 minutes. Yes. So I myself, just to show you guys, I haven't traded yet. I did have to restart these accounts. These are all fresh PA accounts. You saw the trade on Friday that blew it out. I told you guys, I'm going to try to be really, really aggressive at the start of all of these accounts to build out the buffer so I could trade my normal strategy. So because I'm being aggressive, the odds of it hitting are low, but if I were to hit it, it's the most time efficient way for me to build out the buffer. So I'm just kind of in that painful build out process. So I do have 20 fresh PA accounts right here, and then I still have my 5 take profits down here. So I do have my 25 accounts. Just wanted to let you know where they're at with it. I'm sticking to my plan. Obviously, just trying to be aggressive and build out that buffer as quickly as I can, just so I can go back to my quote unquote normal trading style. So I am trying to be a bit more patient today and waiting for that 9:45 announcement to come out. Oh, you guys couldn't see it? I'm sorry. I was on the wrong one. Right here. I have 20 fresh PA accounts and I have my 5 take profits. So I haven't done any trades yet today. They are fresh accounts. I'm just trying to be aggressive. And also, I guess you guys didn't see this when I showed it to you here. So on Webull, I'm up about 40K. And then on, these are all my option positions. And then shout out to Public, up an additional 42. So 40, 40, 82. It'd be nice to have 100K a day. It'd be nice to make more than my entire salary when I was working in a single day. Dude, what this does to your brain, just like how you get so flooded with dopamine, it's truly fascinating. Absolutely fascinating, all the brain chemicals that are going on. Right now, I see a slight trend to the upside in the SPX. I am looking to see how it battles it out at 5750. We are slowly but surely grinding up to it. This is the big test of the day. If you are trading SPY, that equivalent is about $1.50 higher. So it's going to be around 572, like 50, 75 if you're looking for just like a crude, rough estimate of what that level is and isn't. I see the Qs are having a little bit more of a struggle this morning. SPY is wanting to go, well, the Qs really haven't done anything. Here's a look at the options flow. A little bit bearish up until about 9:33. Then the S&P 500 complex, the combination of SPX, SPY, XSP, and ES, that's all four of these major ones together, with the most important ones being SPX and ES. Obviously, they caught a little bit of a turnaround at 9:32. So basically, what you had was a market open profit taking. Then it's bullish, and now it's continuing still bullish. The Mag 7, same thing. This is why I'm confused about the Qs right now. The Qs don't look that good, but yet the options is strong. So I'm actually kind of waiting for the Nasdaq price to pick up here, because I'm seeing bullishness in the Mag 7. I'm seeing bullish. The Nasdaq's getting hit, but this is the one I consider the least. I still consider it, but the Nasdaq took a bit of a hit. So maybe we just need that to clear out of this system. But Mag 7 strong, and also the S&P 500 strong. So we're just kind of waiting for this. Like I said, in about 6-ish minutes, we have the report coming out, the manufacturing and services PMI. So I'm not trying to trade before that. I want to wait for that to go. So just letting the chart build out, obviously tracking options and just seeing what in the fuck is going on with this portfolio. Look at that, 103, 103, and 85. What's that? 35. So that's 60K there. So 60K there, and then 45K here. Officially up 100. Holy fuck. Officially up $100,000. That's disgusting. I created these positions on Friday. From Friday to now, with the week, like that's disgusting. 45K there, 45, 65, 80, yeah, just over $100,000. That's wild. How the fuck is this shit legal, people? And the 100K is gone because it's in his wife's bank account. Buy me dinner tonight, dude. Chaos. I'd always love to take you on a date there, buddy. Piper doesn't even care. She's already back to sleeping. Lock in half. No, I'm waiting for that 9:45 report. Speaking of which, as you can see, where I trust my money, it's on Public. Public is the partner of today's show. Folks, this is the best place to trade options. If you are an options trader, this is where you should be trading options. And the answer to why is because it's the only place you're going to get a rebate. If you are an options trader or an aspiring options trader, this is where you have to be, because if you're profitable, you'll be more profitable. If you're not profitable, well, your pain won't be that much, because you're going to get a rebate for every single options contract you trade. If you buy a call, then sell a call, you're getting a rebate 2x. If you buy a put, then sell a put, you're getting a rebate 2x. If you're engaging in iron condors, you're getting a ton more, because every single contract you trade, you're getting a rebate. So that's why you should be trading options here. No other brokerage, at least that I know of, does it. So check it out. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. There are no commission fees. There are no per contract fees. It is free to download. It is free to sign up. And I'm realizing that the link actually is not pinned right now. So just give me one hot second and I will pin this for you. Folks, this is truly a no-brainer. I guess I'm still to this day confused why people are on other brokerages trading right now. This is the only one I know of, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that you're going to get a rebate, as in you're getting paid every single options contract you are trading. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. There is a tier system to how much rebate you get. If you want to start off at a higher tier, that's exactly why you should use the link pinned to the top of chat and in the description of the video, because that just to start off higher. If you go to the website, yeah, you're going to be in the rebate system, but you're going to start off better at, once again, at a higher tier by using that link. So check it out. There's no love lost here, because you could download it, you can sign up, you can create your account, go through all that process and see if it's for you, but it's not going to cost you anything. And I think the more you realize what's going on, the more you're absolutely going to like what is happening, because, I mean, can I even find it? I found it in my rewards. It's always, they moved it of where it is. I want to see my total rewards thus far. History, is it in my history? Rebates, rewards, profile, history, rewards. Okay. How do I see that total number? Transfer an account, view rewards history. All right. They had this like nice graphic where it shows you, I think I'm in the realm of $5,000 or $6,000 in rebates, which once again, you're just straight up the better off trading it. Transfers, documents, social, account balances. Where are my rewards? Here we go. Check this out. This is my own account. So I've been paid from public just under $6,000 in rewards. So no matter how my trading was, I'm $6,000 better off. Profitable, cool, extra 6K. Even if you're not, well, you're saving yourself an extra $6,000, even if you're losing. So no matter where you are, here's my rewards. I've gotten almost 4K from trading SPY, 938 from the Qs, 360 from IWM. Those are my top three. Obviously, very much dominated by the amount of SPY contracts that I've traded. But here's what I'm saying with the tier system: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. You will start off at a higher tier. You'll be earning more money via the rebates by using that link. So check it out. This is the place, in my humble opinion, to be trading options, and it's just a simple math question. It really, really is. Just you're mathematically better off. So check it out. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. And we are patiently waiting this 9:45 data drop. We have about 90 seconds. Obviously, shout out to Public for partnering up with us today. Highly recommend you guys download it, check it out. I think you're going to like it as much as I do. Remember to start off at a higher rebate tier. Use that link pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. All right, let's get ready. You can see this giant gamma zone right here. I'm still watching that. It is at 5.7. Well, there are some calls at 40, right, where my cursor is, and then there's even more at 50. Remember, these are sold calls, as in they don't really want it to go above that. So that's why we're going to have more of like a mean reverting nature here, rather than like a speed up ramp where we really get going, because this is positive gamma, not negative gamma. Now, if we're able to break out of this magnet, like this is definitely like a kind of, it's gravity. Like we're getting sucked to this value. If we have enough momentum to really get going, then I'm watching 5.775. Then there's the psychological level at 5,800. Interestingly enough, people aren't actually playing that level today. The next level from 5.775 that people are really playing is all the way up here at 5.825. So these are all my bull levels of the day, but it's all centered around, can we break and hold 5,750? And we might be finding out soon, because we are about to get a report that comes out in about 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Do you think they're going to have our boy Rick up? It's always a good day when we get to hang out with Rick. It's always a good day when we get to hang out with Rick. Are they going to have... All right, I do have the audio up. Where's our boy Rick? Where's our boy Rick? Here we go. 5 seconds. All right, are they bringing Rick up?
You know, almost all of them. I mean, you know,
Let's see.
You know, Benadryl, you know, Listerine.
Initial reaction, slight push to the upside.
Underperformed at least the hopes and dreams
There's
for the
options also
shareholder base
popped
of
on this.
Johnson & Johnson that received this. That said,
Mag 7 Delta hit a new intraday high. S&P 500 complex, not a new intraday high, but a clear pump to the upside.
Right. So
Doesn't quite know how it wants to react. Initial reaction was a slight push to the upside, in not only in price, but also in options. But now options are doing the exact opposite. We pumped, we dumped. Price not really moving as of now.
Number of other situations they've been involved in. They're here too. My understanding.
Come on, bring up Rick.
I've seen the letter they sent to
bring
the
up
board.
Rick.
They're going to be as large, if not larger, than Starboard.
All right, that's boring. U.S. S&P Composite PMI Flash. Actual 53.5. The forecast was 50.9. And then for services, it was 54.3. The forecast was 51. So both services and manufacturing beat the forecast. Both beat. Manufacturing was 49.8. Oh, wait, excuse me. The composite and services beat. Manufacturing did not. Sorry, I misspoke. Manufacturing was 49.8 and the forecast was 51.7. So manufacturing came in lower, services came in higher, and the composite came in higher. So 2 out of 3 kind of beating those expectations, which I wonder if that's why we were initially bullish and now it's kind of like indecisive at such a key level. Let's go back to the options flow. We were drifting off into this announcement. Then we popped. Then we drifted, and now, if anything, you could argue it's a bit more indecisive. So A little bit of bearishness. And the reason we had bearishness, it wasn't actual bearishness. I could show you right here what it was. It was people locking in their money. Wow. Actually, this is interesting. So pretty much ever since 9:33, people have been buying puts and buying calls. So both sides are getting more confident that they are right. People are buying calls and they're buying puts. So basically, when one of these sides blinks, that's going to be allowing the rubber band to snap and for us to break away, whether in the bullish or bearish direction. And right now, it does seem like the bulls are in a bit more of that control. A bit more of that control. Let me bring this up. Oh, golly. Where are we at today? Oh, the options being played. This is clearly a bullish day. I'm finally getting some populated options data right here. It is clearly a bullish day. All right. So now I'm going to wait for this first pullback if I can find one. And then I will be ideally looking for a long position. But I don't know if it's necessarily going to give it to me. The breakout here at 946 is probably nice to play. I mean, 80 all the way up here. I'm looking for it, but I'm just not going to arbitrarily throw on a bullish position because remember, you always still have to respect your risk because even in the most bullish day, when you only have 2.5K of drawdown, like, it's really easy to hit that because there could be like a little hiccup in the market. That is 100% possible. So I still, even though I feel very confident in the, I guess, bullish outlook, bullish, all the 5, 10, 30, 4 hour, the price momentum on the S&P 500, the price momentum on the NASDAQ 100, price momentum is bullish. Looking at the options flow, that is bullish. Looking at the options flow, that is bullish. Okay, so I'm seeing things align, and then I also have some other option tools here of what is currently being played today. And granted, we're only about 20 minutes in right now. I'm going to wait for that next one to populate, but the initial underlying of the market that I'm seeing, it is bullish. So I just need to now get in with a low risk. I want to get in with a low risk opportunity. And I'm also praying we don't get smacked right here on the first attempt, which we very well might because there's so much open interest here. You could see it. You have this node. And then what I'm getting excited about is, did they move this? Do I need to update that? All right, I do need to update this. I'm changing this from 75 up to 85. There must have been enough of a shift today that the next major gamma node is all the way up here at 5785. So I moved that 10 points higher. So just very quickly, I'm updating my second target. We're at this first target right now. Second target is now 10 points higher. The second target is now 10 points higher. Oh, all right. We're taking a stab at it. All right, I went long 2 contracts, waited for a little bit of a pullback and then some strength. I wish, honestly, it was a deeper pullback, but it makes sense it wasn't because it was right at 20,300. So it's just bouncing off that whole value. I went long 2 contracts. I'm trying to lock in one quickly just to help me with my buffer. And then from there, I'm going to have a bit of a runner situation. So I'll probably be updating this top one. That's not necessarily what my target is going to be. In fact, I should probably do some math on that. Oh, how do I want to play this? Okay, the max I should go for is 1,500. 1,000. All right. What am I in at? 1075. 75. Okay. That's the max I can go for on this one. I might get out early, though, if the market ends up showing some weakness, because I'm trying to be mindful of the fact that we are right at this key level on SPX, which that's a bummer for me, but we'll see. Come on. I'll feel a lot better of this if I could just lock in this first one, because then I'll get an extra, 10, 12 points of buffer, so I can move this up. Even if it's at break even, I'll be net green on the day. So my goal here is just to trade with the trend, see if I could lock this in. Come on. Just give me a little bit of a pump. All right. What do we have? Tesla's going. MSTR is flat. What else is going today, folks? Palantir's going. Getting a nice one. Is it just not? Yeah, we're just battling this out. Here's a look at the options flow. Here's the S&P 500. Big pump at 950, drifting down a little bit as price is getting choppy because people don't know if we're going to... This is... When we come to such an important level like this, and this is probably the most played level of the day. In fact, I could actually tell you right here. Look at this note. This, I'll update it just to make sure we are getting... Okay, as of right now, it's kind of tied. So you have a huge level at 5,600, huge level at 5,750, and a huge level at 5,850. This is today's open interest, as in the 0 DTE
Order
open
canceled.
interest. Just locked in one. Okay, first target locked in. Cool, 250 locked in. And now I have this runner, and I'm going to move my stop up a little bit. And I'm going to give it a little bit of room to breathe because, like, if you can catch a big move on a day like today, this could really get going. But we are at this massive positive gamma node right now, which means that there's going to be a battle. And it also happens to be at this huge psychological level of 5,750. So this is a huge give and take of the bulls and the bears. And you could even see it being battled out in real time between the calls and the puts. People are buying calls. People are buying puts. The put buying stopped at 9:45 after that PMI announcement. But you could also argue that the call buying stopped 2 minutes later. So both sides are kind of saying, what do we got going on here? The Mag 7 is showing legitimate strength, though. The calls are going up. The puts are being sold. So in the Mag 7, actually, that makes me feel really confident about this play because I'm seeing quite a bit of strength in the Mag 7. All right. Calm, cool, collected. This is the name of the game today. Will this breakout hold? If it does, we're talking about 5785, which is this next target all the way up there. Let me zoom out a little bit. And then if it really gets going, we get back into negative gamma, which this is where shit could get crazy. Okay, this is a giant if statement, like a giant, like potential case, not the highest probability pathway, but something to consider. We are at a giant positive gamma node. Those are tough to break. If we do break it, there's another giant positive gamma node, and it's also right below a key psychological level of 5,800. These these purple areas are tough to break. But if we do break it, then we get into negative gamma, which instead of being mean reverting, that's more trend following. So if we can break this shit can really rip. I mean, look at this. 5,840, 5,850. There's a lot of people with long calls up there saying, dude, if it goes, they're playing for it. You can see the open interest. The biggest open interest node of the day is 5,850. Now, I know that's far away, and that's a giant if because we're at a key level now, which we have to break this one. Then there's another big wall to break. But in the off chance that we get more of these Vanna rally effects, and to know if that's happening, you're going to want to see more puts being closed out. If you see the light blue and the dark blue start to really rip, as in puts are being capitulated, that is by definition going to be a Vanna rally because puts are being closed out. You're going to have that happening as vol is collapsing. So if puts are closed out as vol collapses, that's exactly what you need for a Vanna rally. And then if I were to put targets on said Vanna rally, I'd be looking on breaking this wall that we're at right now. We have another wall about 35 points higher, which is $3.50 in this buy. That's going to be a tough battle as well. But in the off chance, this is not the high probability play, but in the off chance that we do, we could be ripping through this negative gamma. And at that point, you're talking about 5,840. You're talking about 5,850, which is literally 100 points higher than where we are right now. So I just want to put that out there. Of course, I want to be very clear. This is by no means a guarantee. This is not the end all be all. Like, I'm just saying that is a very real pathway of where things could be going. Speaking of that, I should check in 30K, 22K. So 42 plus 30, that's 72, 72 plus another 50. That is a lot of fucking money. I'm up $132,000 on options right now. Wow. Kind of makes you want to vomit. It really does. He sounds obsessed with this Vanna rally stuff. I am obsessed with it. I am. The only other thing that I'm obsessed with at this level is every so often I like to hide in the bushes outside of your house and watch your family eat dinner. some like light level voyeurism. But I would say those are like my two major obsessions is Vanna rallies and watching your family eat a very peaceful dinner at night. Like I just like to be right in the bushes and just watch, just like, and nothing crazy, just like a light level of voyeurism. I would say those are like the two major things in my life, without a doubt. But yeah, I appreciate you for noticing that. Lock in some profits. Who are you, my mom? Who are you, my mom? You're up on paper. Lock in some. Once again, you are not my mom. Oh, do I want to? All right, we're going to set this up. I'm moving my stop up, not to break even quite yet, but I'm just moving my stop up below. And this, okay, I want to be clear. I think this is a big trend following day, but due to the other related rules to these accounts, I have to, there's a max. Mathematically, I want to make my life easier by not making too much in one day because of the 30% consistency rule. And that number for me today is 1,500. So I can't really swing for more than that on this particular trade on this particular day. Of course, as these accounts grow, I can make more and more money. That it's not like you, like this is a self-enforced rule just because of the math surrounding the consistency stuff. So if you already have more buffer and you think I'm somehow calling out 20,375 as like some big resistance, I'm not. That's literally just like the mathematical most I could go for today to not screw myself over related to like additional rules. So I just wanted to, I guess, clarify that. All right, we are battling this out. Are we going to hold? Your guess is as good as mine. Right now, we are above 5,750, but just make sure that this isn't kind of a fake out overshoot situation. So I'm watching this. I'd prefer that we do not break this. What is this? 5,742. It is very rare with respect to big open interest levels like this to break on the first attempt. That's why here at 947, we tried to, got smacked, battle. Well, literally every single minute, this is just the battle of the bulls and the bears. And eventually one side's going to blink. Either the bulls are going to blink or the bears are going to blink. And if the bulls do, okay, we come back down and we test 5,742. But if the bears blink, then we start to push. And I would say, I just want to give you the update. Let me zoom in here. My next target would be somewhere between this 5,000. You have 800, you have 90, you have 85. So I put in 85, more of the conservative one relative to the three levels I see. But there's, 4.5 thousand contracts sold at 5,800. There's a net of 2.7 thousand contracts sold at 5,790. And then there's also 4.1 thousand contracts sold at 5,785. So this 15-point region is going to be the next big battle. But we're kind of talking about it prematurely because we're actively at a big battle right now. Granted, it is getting smaller, the amount of open interest, the net open interest that was here. So maybe people are rolling up their bets, but it just comes down to we got to watch this. We got to watch this, calm, cool, collected, see what in the world is going on. I'm looking for VIX to capitulate. Ideally, I know you guys think I'm obsessed with Vanna rallies, but right here, this is the Mag 7. The way these puts were going up, that's what I want to see in the SPY, and we're just not seeing it yet. As of right now, the puts are kind of constant ever since about 9:45, and really the calls have been constant since about 9:47. So we haven't really been seeing a big movement in the delta here. Hang on. Yeah, kind of up. We're pulling back a little bit right now, as the market's just trying to figure out what's going on. Grind to the upside, starting at 958, a little bit of a pullback. The NASDAQ is actually more bearish than anything, but it's weird because the Mag 7 is actually absurdly bullish right now. The Mag 7, the combo of Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla, actually just hit a new intraday high. Oh, all right. Yep, we're just battling it out here. I wonder if I should give this more room to breathe, this particular trade. Do I want to give this one more room to breathe? Because I do feel pretty confident. Hang on. I'm just moving it for a second to check out what I see going on. Something happened. 5,800. Okay, there's a lot of action going on, about 50 points higher than where we are right now. So the average strike being played on the put side is increasing, which is bullish. But the issue here is the average call strike being played is pretty constant at 5,800. So I'm kind of watching that to see what in the world is going on. And it's just coming back to this. So honestly, it's as simple as this. Have the patience for the market to tell you what is the right way. Are we going to break and hold this, or are we going to get smacked and not hold it? It's kind of telling if we make a new intraday high, and it's kind of telling if we break this 944 low, the low we made right before that PMI announcement. So just patience. Price momentum is bullish. The 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour on both the S&P 500 and on the NASDAQ favoring the bulls. So I would say, let's do like a realistic review of like good decisions versus bad decisions. So price action, bullish. We're making higher highs and higher lows throughout today's trading session. So price action is bullish. Price momentum, as I just went over, looking at the EMAs, bullish. So price action and price momentum are bullish. Then the final thing I like to check is what in the world is going on with options. Looking at the S&P 500, it was bullish up until recently, 958. So the turn of the hour brought a little bit of fresh bearishness, but overall we are still kind of trending up, but there's a little bit of weakening going on right now. While on the other side, looking at the Mag 7, big bullish push, and it's holding very nicely. So what I would say is, if we were to break this and actually rip, what it's going to be, the telltale sign is right here. See how we're getting a little bit of a pop in the S&P 500? We need more of a pop. By the time we're making a new delta high with the price momentum and the price action being bullish, that's the sign of what you're looking for. But you could see that since 957, 958, that is specifically what's going on here. Some calls are being sold, but really it's just this drift downward in puts. So every so often, they're just buying more and more puts. Not a huge chunk, but the delta is drifting down because of that. And then when you have some of these 0 DTE calls capitulating, that's where we're getting a little bit of a hit there as well. So we just got to wait. That's it. We just got to wait to see, is the delta going to keep puking, or are we just putting in a higher low and it ends up pushing and we get back up to like a 1 billion reading or an 800 million reading, which once again, this is just the delta notional. That's the final piece of the puzzle. Price momentum is bullish. Price action is bullish. The last thing we are waiting for to see if we can really get this breakout is the options flow. That's if we just did check mark, we have two things favoring the bulls, and the other one was favoring the bulls, and now it's like kind of going back into the neutral territory. And obviously I'm referring to this because the Mag 7 is actually right there. The Mag 7 just hit a new high, which tell me that's Tesla. Fuck yes, that is Tesla. How's that Tesla position looking? Just up a cool 23K, just up a nice 125%. Folks, these calls, ask anyone in the Discord, they were all called out in real time on on Friday. Actually, these ones I called out before I even got into it. I was just like, hey, I'm going to be doing this. So ask anyone in the Discord. I think I got into them around noon, all posted in real time to everyone in the Discord. You can get that stuff for free for the first month. The reason I give away the first month is because I want you guys to not feel like you got if it's not for you. I understand that I'm not everyone's cup of wine. I get it. I'm a couple of your bags of gasoline, if you will, but the first month is free and you get access to everything. My trades, all of my trades, the Piper signal, all the private lectures, the voice chat, the other members who choose to post their trades. There's a lot going on there. Right now, we're in the middle of a March Madness competition. There's a lot going on, but the point is your first month is free. If you sign up right now, my mods will drop it in chat, the link, promo code Goonie. Goonie is how you get your first month for free. As soon as you sign up, it's going to look like this. It's going to bring you to locals. You have to be a supporter, which is a premium member. So every membership is free, and that's where you get things like the newsletter for 100% free. That's a member. Membership is free. Becoming a supporter, aka a premium member, well, you have to pay for that, but the first month is still free. So when you do that to get your free month, it's going to look like this. You can get into the Discord by hitting this giant button right here, or you could come to the second pinned message and you're going to find the link. As soon as you sync your accounts, basically your Discord account to your locals account, which all the steps are in here, that's how you get full access to the Discord. So once again, if you're having any confusion of having to get in right there, Goonie Discord, click on that button or come to this link right here. It's all there. It's all on locals. Like I said, your first month is free because I just want everyone to like actually truly enjoy it. And then if you're wondering if it's worth it, I would argue yes, being these were all called out on Friday. So they're up 116, 115, 112%. So even if you put in $1,000, you've made $1,000 now paying for a year and a half of this service. And then obviously if you liked it at my size, you'd be up closer to $100,000. Right here, we're seeing this first actual pullback of the day, which means, do I just want to clock this? Do I just want to take this right now because I'm still net green? Or do I think, let's look at the options flow. Let's look at this options flow. The MAG 7, let's go to the 30-second. MAG 7 hit a new intraday high, started to trend down slightly. See, this is the issue, is the SPY hasn't caught its footing yet. I think there's too many. Some people are still buying puts, but ever since 9:58, we have 0 DTE call buyers hitting the cash register. So the net buying hasn't returned quite yet. I still think it will. I'm still trying to be optimistic because we haven't taken out this 42 low. So I'm either looking for the breakdown above 40, below 42, or more ideally the break out above 54. But I'm watching for the succession of higher highs and higher lows, or that potential change. The momentum is still bullish. Momentum takes a little bit longer to change. So price action as of now, higher highs, higher lows favoring the bulls. Price momentum bullish on both the S&P 500 and on the NASDAQ. The thing that is right now messing things up is this in options. We have consistent put purchasing ever since 9:57, and ever since 9:58, you have consistent call selling. That is the exact opposite of what you want it to be for a breakout, especially at such a key, important, pivotal level. Now, from a technical perspective, if you look at it right here, that could be an interesting breakout trade. Ideally, we wouldn't break this low, or if we do, it'd only be for a quick second. So if you're like, well, hang on, I missed on this and I'm still looking for an opportunity, I'd be looking for this trend line breakout to align with options turning back around. So not only the price action of taking out this downsloping trend line kind of created, I don't know, somewhere roughly in here throughout the day, right around 9:57, which is when we saw those puts starting to get purchased. If we can take out this trend line, that's good. That's once again a short-term bearish trend turning back into the longer-term bullish trend. But what I want to see is not just that to happen, but I want to see that happen with puts being closed out and calls being purchased. So I'm always going to be coming back to this options flow to make sure that the options market agrees with what price is actually doing, because it's these mismatches where things get a little bit ugly. So watching this, hoping it can turn soon, but right now the VIX is actually holding pretty constant. Let's go to the 3-minute. I'm seeing the Qs take a little bit of a larger hit, which I'm not the biggest fan of. So it's all up to, are the bulls going to step in, or are the bears going to get more aggressive? We have this MSTR still holding, actually nicely holding right there. All right. Puts are they're playing a higher and higher strike, but the calls are playing a lower and lower strike. We're going to find out. We are going to find out. Are we just putting in a higher low? Because we really haven't taken out a low yet. This is still a bullish structure. I'm seeing a lot of enthusiasm in MSTR if you happen to be playing that. Tesla ripped all the way up to 269, taking a little bit of a breather down to 267. But I would love for the SPY to get back above 572.75, and I'd love for the Qs to get back above, I guess, 489. But looking for this dip right here to be the higher low. And then we're starting to potentially see a turn here in options. Right here, I'm seeing the first spike, but who knows? What if this is just another lower high? So I'm closely watching this delta flow right here, picking up ever since 10:09. So let's see. We're coming up to that trend line, so watching for that trend line breakout and also looking for the options to get stronger. I want those two things simultaneously to happen to make me feel more comfortable. Hey, Matt, does the death cross worry you to go long? No, it doesn't. How much a month? The Discord is free for the first month, and it's $60 per month after that. Or if you pay for the annual, you, I think, save 2 to 3 months. So once again, your first month is free, and then it's $60 for that. So the question is do you get more value than $60 by being in there? I would argue that the answer is very obviously yes. 116%, 107, 107. This trade, I know this one trade paid for multiple people in the Discord to be there for multiple years. So the question is there enough value and information and enough of a community sense in there that it justifies it? Think of it as a business like transaction. Are you better off being in there at that cost than not being in there? I would argue, I think the proof is kind of right there that yes, you are better off. But once again, that's my own opinion. Killed it on 4 of my paper counts on Apex Market Open, hit 1,500 mark, reset my eval, jumped in, and both of those blew out in this chop. Well, it's getting a little choppy now. The question is this the high or low? And that's what we're waiting for. Coming back to this trend line, see how we got smacked right there? Just kind of waiting to see. Looking for the trend line breakout and see how the optimism that was in the options market. We bounced from 1009 to 1010. Then it quickly went flat. So I'm just seeing if the options can curl back up. Look for this delta flow to curl back up. That's when the party's going to be back on. Looking for right here. We're kind of going flat right now. Can this start to pump? Because if so, we're going to see price pump. Even this, the Mag 7 puked from 1004 to 1010. I think what we have here is just some people putting on low risk bearish trades, and also the bulls. You have some bulls locking in money. So I'm just trying to be patient. I don't want to get stomped out of it. I still think this is a legitimately good trade, because if we turn here, what we have is just a classic higher low. The price structure is still intact. And it looks, as of right now, this might just be a higher low situation. Yeah. Even this right here, from all of the breakdown that I've given you, this trade, if you took it on SPX, SPY, or ES, or NQ, this breakout trade with, I guess, my call out here that it's picking up, that trade alone would have paid for you to be in the Discord for the next month, for the next quarter, like as a freebie, like literally just this call out and what we were looking for and the exact criteria you would have needed. You would right now here be up enough to pay for the next month, the next quarter. Everyone watching could have done it. Everyone watching could have done that. How much capital would you recommend is needed for the Discord? It depends on how you want to trade. It doesn't take that much capital to trade things like Apex. You could buy a test for $33. For an options account, life is easier if you're over PDT, just because then you don't have to worry about like getting hit for like a PDT violation. But of course, you don't have to. Like if you have the discipline to just be a swing trader and not have to worry about day trades, you could probably do it. But I'm not going to be one of these people who basically tells you, oh yeah, you could trade even with $100. Well, you can with Sim to funded, but with your own funded account, you kind of need some money. I haven't really given it the most thought of the minimum value, but I would say it's in the realm of 5K if you're going to be trading your own options account. But once again, if you have less than 5K and you're still learning how to trade, you could easily do that with Vanquish. Those accounts are $200, and then that's even before the discount, so they'll be cheaper. The Apex accounts, the take profit accounts, you could get them in the realm of like $100-ish. So right now, there's never been an easier time to learn how to trade in terms of the affordability of like what you have to put at risk to trade, and also the amount of easily accessible free information. There's no time in history that it's been this easy to learn how to trade. Like there's the most information that is free to get, the most tools out there, and the most like risk adjusted low levels to enter to the market. Truly, this is the best time to ever be in the market right here. Literally the breakdown I gave you, you guys would all would have been good. And we are just fucking cooking. What is that? 61. I wish it had total values here, because now I always have to do 24, 31, that's 75 plus another 22, 97. So this account alone is up almost 100. And then, of course, I have this as well, up another 50. So up 51K there. And I want to make sure I'm doing my math right on this, but I'm pretty sure this is another 95-ish. So up about 140 right now. And that's just from Friday. These positions were all created on Friday. I'm still in this one on my futures account. But I think it shows you on this. Does it show you on this? Yeah. Purchase date, the 21st. That's when I got into Tesla. 21st, that's when I got into SPX. And then on NDX, the 21st. So all these were literally made midday Friday. So midday Friday to now, like half a business day worth of work, crushing it. And all right, I'm looking for this breakout. And I'm telling you, my next target is all the way up in this 15-point region. This is your boy's next target all the way up here, looking at the next positive gamma node, once again, somewhere in this 15-point region, if we can break and hold, which once again, price structure, higher highs, higher lows, price momentum, all green, price momentum, all green, looking at the options flow. Mag 7, higher highs, higher lows, swinging back around as we talk. S&P 500 had quite a bit of a pullback. We're pumping. The question is can the delta make a new high? If the delta can make a new high, I would become very confident for this breakout to hold and for us to reasonably test this zone all the way up here. But that's a big if, because right here, even on a higher, technically a higher price, we tied it. See, this is the issue, is we hit the same price level, but options are now weaker. So that's a bit divergent. So I'm a bit nervous about that. So looking for options to continue to pump. MSTR is going. Tesla's going. Thank you for the education. Oh, you guys are more than welcome. You guys want to see something really funny while we're here? Like, view your channel right here. I'm not playing this video. Dude, I got lit up in these. Like, it just this is the video I posted last night. Squeeze alert, why I'm buying Tesla stock right now. This was posted 17 hours ago. Tesla is now up 9% and ripping. And I called out 275. I called out 300. And these people fucking rip me apart. Like, you guys should actually read this, because I don't like, some of you said, bots, like, what is with this Tesla employees are going to sell? Have fun with those bags. Definitely interesting, but I don't know. As soon as there is another quarter, what sales through the roof, I think the stock will be done down to the next bottom. Bottom? What the fuck does that even mean? I found it. It's peak stupid. Fuck it. Like, what is with this? Like, dude, they rip me the fuck apart in this. And the crazy thing is that I'm right. I'm being called a peak stupid on the fact that not only was I right, I put my money where my mouth was, making 25 grand off of it. And they're like, this guy's fucking dumb. I mean, I guess maybe that's just what dumb people do. Like, I'm actually just laughing at, and then red, whatever. Like, I just don't get it. Tesla has been abandoned. Elon's own brother and executives are selling 176 million so far this year. This downtrend has happened. No sales, people dumping their cars, some old ladies for years, robots, robo-taxes, and other stuff that never materialized. What's the catalyst, Matt? What will cause the stock to rise? Tim Walls, LOL, like literally laughing at me. Like straight up fucking, like just ripping me apart. I found it. That's my fake. Enron 2.0. Tesla employees are going to sell. Like what? Tesla's the new AMC. My current strategy of do the opposite of what Matt Kohrs says is doing really well this decade. Oh, all right. I fucking, it blows my mind. Blows my fucking mind. And then like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like I really think I'm fucking taking crazy pills sometimes when I like look at what the fuck's going on in the market. Are we breaking out yet? Are we breaking out or breaking up? Like ending our relationship? We're just battling. That was a beautiful trade though. Regardless of how this plays out, low risk entry, this breakout. And if you catch it, dude, that was the trade of the day right there. Lock it in. I'm already calling it out. The 10-12 bullish entry was the trade of the day. And I'm calling it the trade of the day without even knowing how this goes. I'm saying it's the trade of the day because it was the best decision of the day. Price action was bullish. Price momentum was bullish. Options went from bullish to a bit bearish to swinging back to bullish. And you were able to get in with a low risk setup for a potential massive breakout. This was the trade of the day. If you are a day trader, a scalper, this was it. We called it out in real time. I hope it works out. But once again, you should never judge the quality of the trade on did you make or lose money, because sometimes really good trades, like the best decision, still loses money, and sometimes horrible decisions end up making you money. So you shouldn't be judging the quality of a trade off of did you make or lose money. You should be judging it off of the decision process that went into it. And I am arguing right now that somewhere between 10-11 and 10-13, this was just the highest quality decision because it all aligned. It all aligned. And actually, speaking of that, Piper just fired. Piper. Where Piper? What is today? Today is the 24th. Piper. All right, I'm just updating this. All right, we have that. I'm just making sure I don't fat finger this copying as I commonly do. It is the 24th. That is correct. I want to double check I got the right strikes. I did. Okay, it's in there. So I'm still actively in this futures trade. I already locked in one of my 2 contracts, locked in 250 across 25 accounts. You guys could do the math on that. What is that? 6K locked in the realm of 6K. And then I have one runner. I'm going for 1.5K in each account, which would be a nice $37,000 gain from a little bit of day trading. And obviously I'm looking to pad this position right here up about 53K. And then obviously more important is my future or my public stuff. 27, 31, and 23. Why are there not totals? What's that? 54, 84. So no, my math before was wrong then, because whatever I did before when I said 90, my math must have been off. But I guess that's what I get for trying to do mental math when I'm juggling 18 gazillion different things. All right, here we don't need this anymore. Here's a look at the flow. Here's the Mag 7. The Mag 7 just hit a new delta high, obviously bullish. For those of you curious about Tesla, it is ripping. Those of you curious about NVIDIA, was getting hit until about 10:13. Now it's popping. For those of you curious about Palantir, rip, pause, ripping again. For those of you curious about MSTR, ripping this entire day. The NASDAQ as a whole actually kind of looking really weird. But then on the SPY, we're trying to show strength. We hit a new price high, but options haven't followed. This is the final thing I'm looking for, is for options to actually start to go. And really what I need, it'd be great if people buy calls, but what I'm looking for that Vanna rally is for these puts to actually get closed out, because right now I see these puts are pretty flat. So just kind of waiting on that. And I think that will be not only the gasoline, but also the lighter that lights the fucking huge bonfire to rip us all the way up to this 15-point zone. The reason I'm calling out this 15-point zone is because of where we just see the options being played right now. If I zoom out, you could see that we're currently trying to break. Oh, wait, there's a new node? There's a new node. All right, what do we have going on here? Dude, there's a lot changing in the options market in real time. So this is still the biggest pain in the ass, but it looks like people who sold the 5750s rolled it up to the 5770s. And then we have all of this now. So there's been a lot of movement here, which is obviously kind of stymieing this breakout. And it's also somewhat descriptive of why we are seeing not the nicest follow through here. But we are seeing clear movements, clear shifts. So looking for this to break, but it looks like someone rolled their 5750s up to the 5770s. So if you're doing more of like super short-term stuff, you might be watching 5770, because that is something that was not there this morning. But I see, let's zoom in. Yeah, they rolled it from the 5750s up to the 5770s. And then above that is still this huge level at the 5790s. So definitely a shift throughout the day, and I think that is actually perfectly representing a little bit of the choppiness we're seeing in this options flow right now. Once again, the Mag 7, crazy strong. The NASDAQ actually showing a bit of weakness, while the SPY is like It was bullish, got hit, and it's now on that recovery path. So we haven't made a fresh high, but price has. So I'm not the biggest fan of that mismatch right now. Regardless, I still think this trade going long at 10.12 was the trade of the day for 0 DTE scalp traders. So we're going to see if this can break and hold, but for that to happen, I think we're going to need to see some of those puts capitulate, and they're not. They're doing the opposite. More puts are actively being purchased right now. So waiting to see how the hell that plays out. MSTR taking the first little smack of the day, but nothing too crazy. It's still up 8%. Tesla's up 9.8%. I still cannot get over how much I got shit on in that video. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. Do you guys act like, are you guys just trying to make me feel better? You think it was like legitimately bots? You think it was legitimately bots? I don't mean this also rhetorically. I'm actually like, am I just misreading the cultural opinion of Elon at this moment in time? Because like, according to the comments, the cultural opinion of Elon is that he's a horrible fucking person. Dead internet theory. Well, that's a different thing. And I'm not saying I disagree. No, people really hate Elon. I just don't know. I live in a liberal area and people are going crazy. People dislike Nazis, not you. Or really? You think, you like deep in your soul think Elon's a Nazi? Like, come on. I'm worried about Tesla sales. That's all, nothing personal. But that has nothing to do with this active trade. That would have to be more of a fundamental breakdown of do you want to be an investor or not? And that's a completely different story. But in terms of like, there's a huge difference, as I'm always pitching to you guys. There's a big difference between an active trade and an investment. I think a lot of people conflate them because they both happen in the market, but it's two completely different games. Two completely different games. Not bots. It was counter to other people active open trade who were riding it to the downside. People nowadays hate anything they disagree with. Oh, they have ever since I started like my channel. That's why exactly if I said anything, justify him throwing the Nazi salute, bro. Simple. It wasn't a Nazi salute. That's the dumbest fucking argument. Like, are you really like a 12-year-old? Do you have the IQ of a 12-year-old who got into a serious motor vehicle accident? If you think he threw, like, okay, in the scenario that you deeply believe he threw a Nazi salute, you would then also have to criticize every other politician who's done it. And guess who else has done it? Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Tim Walz, all of them. So like, you can't have the standard for one and not the other. So I, using my brain, realized that it wasn't a Nazi salute for any of them involved. You don't see, let's see if we can find it. Political salute compilation. Let's see if we can find it. People put where it's somewhere on Twitter where someone put together all of the other examples. All of the other examples. It's actually insane. I'm sure maybe one of you guys know what I'm talking about. Who said they aren't criticized? Well, it's weird then that you're specifically saying that he's a Nazi, where for you to be logically consistent here, you would have to say that they're all Nazis. Logically, if you believe Elon is a Nazi due to that salute, for you to be logically consistent, you then also have to believe that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Tim Walz and AOC are all also Nazis. If you believe that, okay, at least I disagree with you. I don't think any of them are Nazis. But if you believe it, at least you're then being logically consistent, and I'd respect your opinion a little bit more. Because the other people aren't relevant right now, you don't think Biden, Harris, AOC, Hillary, you don't think that they are relevant? They're like major people of the Democratic Party. that doesn't make sense. That's the dumbest fucking thing. Like, someone before was referring to the dead internet theory. I think we just have like the brain dead internet theory, where the people on the internet, even if they're brain dead, are all expressing their opinion. It's fucking fascinating. It's fascinating that people are that fucking idiotic. Can we just stop talking about politics, please? No, because right now a major thing that is moving the market is politics. You can't be actively trading and say, oh, I'm not paying attention to politics at all, when inherently the entire movement over the past 2 months has been politically driven, whether it's tariffs or the ceasefire or government shutdowns. It's literally impossible for you to be like, I'm going to be trading and then say, I'm not paying attention to politics. Like, they're together. All right, this one, I mean, at this point, I should just set, I can move it up a little bit. I kind of do want to just set it to break even and then have a free ride. I'm up. Oh, I just wish I was entered in just below 300, because then I'd feel way better about that being support. Or I could just be aggressive and move it up to 11 right now on this. Up about $800 to $900 per account, kind of going sideways. We just got a little burst in the NASDAQ. MSTR coming down a little bit. Tesla looking phenomenal. MSTR, Meta, Palantir, NVIDIA, AVGO, Netflix. Coin. Interesting. I mean, Tesla is just the winner of the day. Can the right do anything that would make you call them out? You explain the way everything they do, criticize everything the left does. No. Across the board, I criticize both. So right there, obviously, you are, I suppose, a left-leaning person. So in your brain, you're only hearing when I'm criticizing the left and supporting the right. But, I mean, there's videos and streams of me criticizing both. Like, that's just, like, I mean, how many rants have I gone on that if you can't properly criticize both sides, that means you're just not paying attention enough? Like, I don't even know. Like, let me think of the most recent example. Oh, with all these Doge cuts and that stuff, the most recent thing that's like kind of fucked up from Trump and Elon is there. I don't know if you guys had this. Maybe it was just in my poor rural area growing up. But there's like a school lunch program for people whose parents have below a certain level of income. They get free lunch. That program has actually been negatively impacted. Like, just truly the funding for it has been taking a hit lately, which, I mean, that I don't think that's a good thing, that there's kids who are literally just kids and they have nothing involved in this current situation, might have like actual issues in school right now getting the food they want. It's not like the program got completely cut. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the dollars funding it are considerably less. And there are initial reports of people who used to get their free lunch no longer getting the free lunch. That's not a good thing. That's like, to me, that is not a good thing. So I criticize that. We've talked about that, I think, like 2 weeks ago. So like, in politics, you are not using your brain if you fully agree or fully disagree with either side. If you are saying everything of one side is correct and everything of the other side is incorrect, you are literally just not doing enough research. There is the statistical chance of you fully agreeing with one side and fully disagreeing with the other side is pretty much zero, as in it just, like, what is going on? Matt loves the right? No, I don't love the right, but I think from a financial standpoint, they are smarter. I think anyone who understands the interaction of the economy and taxes and the debt, if you were to like empirically look at it, as of right now, the right side is planning a better way to handle it than the left side. So we are here talking about, I guess, the economy and finances. So I would say because the GOP has better opinions on how to handle this, or that's why it maybe sounds it. But then I think there's social issues that I would agree more on the left side. But that's just being an adult. You never criticize the left. Matt, you never criticize the left. You probably can't find that video either. No, what do you mean I don't I'm simultaneously now being yelled at for not criticizing the left and not criticizing the right. How is that even, once again, how does that make sense? And like literally chatters, like 10 chat messages apart, I'm actively being yelled at for not criticizing the other side enough. Like, how is that possible? And that it's just so politically divisive right now. It's so politically divisive. And I guess that's the world we live in. And we're just seeing it in a little microcosm right now. You have to remember that the cold of each side will come for you when you don't. Oh, yeah. And that's what's happening is like people live in their world and they're like, that's against mine. Like they'll never really remember the times they say something that they agree with. Like it's just so emotionally enraging when you say things that people like don't agree with. And like then they want to fight about it so much. Like, dude. Matt, you never criticized your dad. Well, your dad raised a great fella. What's there to criticize? What's there to criticize? Matt, you can't have an opinion or else I'm offended. Oh, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to win that one. I don't think I'm going to be able to win that. Did we hit 75? This is a big open interest level on Tesla's 275. I'm curious if we'll be able to take it out. Oh, do I want to move this stop to break even? It's probably the smart thing to do. Is it though? Man, I just wish. So I'm looking at this low at 1016. Even if my fill was like a couple points below it, I could reasonably do it because here you're kind of risking that chance of getting wicked out and then it just goes in your favor anyway. So then the other option is just be more aggressive and say it actually can't really come down at all. Or I could just take this money and be happy with it. That's also the third option here. All right. The overall market is desperately trying to hold 5750. Sorry. My mind. No way. Wait. Does anyone in chat, like, not jokingly, like in their core, believe Elon Musk is a Nazi? Like truly, if you had to put your net worth on this bet, whether he is or he isn't, you would say, yes, Elon Musk is a Nazi. And just to be clear here, we're talking about Elon Musk, the richest person in the world, SpaceX, Boring Company, Neuralink, Tesla. And we're talking about Nazis, like the people involved in World War II and Auschwitz. You're saying, like, legitimately that you think he's a Nazi. There's a lot of no's, but then I see some people saying yes. Like, I hope you're just trolling me because you're fucking brain dead if you think he's legitimately a Nazi. Like, if in your core you're like, this guy is no different than the guards at Auschwitz, no different than the SS, no different than like literally the people with the Third Reich. If you're like, that is the same, you're a fucking idiot. Like truly, you are too stupid to actually be in the market. Like you should not be trading. Fuck, man. I think not only is that weird that you can't interpret reality of right now of what happened with Elon, but it's also weird that like you just know nothing of history. Like I feel like the word Nazi now is just like used as a pejorative term for people who just don't like a different person. But like I think you guys should have paid more attention when you were learning about World War II and the absolute horrific atrocities that happened. And for you to be like, it's the fucking same. Like, fuck, man, you need to read a book. Like, you need to read a book. Like, that's just, like, you're actually retarded if you truly believe it. And then, like, I still see it. Like, people are saying, what about the salute? It's not a fucking Nazi salute. That's the answer. Is you're starting with the argument that it is in fact a Nazi salute. It's not a Nazi salute. Matt, do you see a gap fill down on Friday's high on Tesla? Eventually. Not today, though. But Pebbles, I do. Eventually that gap will get filled, but I don't think it'll be happening in the short term. Matt, this is a wild hill to die on. I don't feel like I'm dying on it. I think there's just people who have a working brainstem. Like, truly. Like the fact that other people are like that you're trying to build this up as if it's like something to be a martyr related to, you're just fucking dumb. Like, if you're going to criticize them, there's a lot of other legitimate things to criticize them for. But for this, for the like interpretation of a dude with Asperger's doing like, I give my heart to you, to the crowd, and for you to be like, that means he's a Nazi. Like, you're actually too functionally fucking stupid to be in the market. Like, that's just, truly, you don't have the capacity to discern like what is going on around you to be trading. Like, it blows my mind. Like, I don't know. I guess that's just where we're at. A lot of people inside don't understand merit. Some people think he's a Nazi sympathizer and believe that's just, he's now a Nazi sympathizer? Whatever. All I know is I'm making a shitload of money off the right call. I mean, the fact that the stock is doing what it's doing right now, like, kind of shows you, like, who's right. Like, if there were to be an objective measure of someone being right or on the wrong side of this argument, you're seeing it in real time of who's right. So, like, whatever. Like, I think some people are trying to make this a subjective discussion where objectively one side is right and the other side is wrong. And the side that is right is clearly the people who are bullish on Tesla right now because it is up 9.4%. Were the ancient Romans Nazis? You know, that's something I haven't considered in this argument. You might be on. I thought I considered all facets of this, but I think I haven't considered that one. I think you were onto something. Were ancient Romans Nazis? That's something that maybe I need to get into. I need to consider. Serious question, are you Jewish? I am 3.8% according to 23andMe, which declared bankruptcy this morning. If so, what does your family think of Elon? I mean, being Jewish or not, that's a stupid fucking question. Like, I could have opinions on, I don't know, like, I don't think women should be murdered, which only impacts women, but yet I'm not a woman, and yet I could still develop an opinion on a situation impacting a different group. Here's a crazy one. You guys might not be able to tell this from my Mayo-esque skin, but I am not black, and I still think slavery is bad. It's fucking crazy how that works. I know this is going to come as a shocker to many of you, but I am not black. I don't identify as black. There's not black in my lineage. There's not any form of black in my genetic testing. And yet I don't think slavery is good. Don't think we should be doing it. Now I know that's like quite a crazy leap. Like, how did I come up with this opinion on slavery, even though it doesn't impact me because I'm a white man? It's crazy how you could do that, right? Like, right? Even not being in that group, I could still identify things that are not bad. So this question of how does a Jewish family think of Elon, like what, that makes them morally in tune to answer those questions? Like, what a fucking, dude, this is, there's no lack of critical thought. You guys were never taught debate. And when I say you guys, I mean the editorial you. I mean the current state of people on the internet, the current state of people in America. There's literally just zero fucking critical thought. Like nothing. Like nothing. And it blows my fucking mind that, like, even that, like, that person said that, they're like, oh, it's such a good fucking gotcha. It's such a good, like, I fucking got Matt. If he has a Jewish family, what's his opinion? Dude, you're literally, okay, if the argument is the world better off or not that Elon is Elon, you would actually be fucking crazy to think that the world isn't better off. Like, if the world was exactly the same and we just duplicated it, and then in one scenario we didn't have Elon, and in the other scenario we're in ours right now, if you think that somehow we were better off to not have Elon, you need to get your fucking head examined. Dude, this dude literally led the EV revolution. He's allowing people who are like quadriplegics to be able to like engage in life again. He's improving our travel system. He's taking us to fucking Mars. And you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, maybe we don't need, like, fucking what? Fucking what? Like, literally one of the most prolific inventors of the current technological age. He literally saved fucking free speech. And you're like, I don't know about that. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. You guys are crazy. You guys were taking crazy pills over the weekend. Elon is definitely not one of the most prolific inventors of our time. Yeah. Maybe I just don't know the laundry list of technological successes he has. And you could literally compare him to 99.9999999% of the population. And he's done more than that. Not me. Not anyone listening right now. None of us put together have done more than he has. You talk about critical thinking, but you are still young and biased as hell. So wait, you're saying you can't be a critical thinker if you're young? Like there's just a certain age that you can then be a critical thinker? Like you can't critical think at 30, but at 31, that's like when your brain like works. Whatever. You know where the scoreboard is of who's right and who's wrong? There's your fucking scoreboard. There's your scoreboard. You can have your thoughts and opinions. I'm looking at the numbers being put up. And we'll if you guys want to play the game of who's interpreting reality properly, let's do it. I'll put my money where I think reality is and what it's reflecting. You can put your money where you think reality is and what it's reflecting. That's the beauty of the market. If you are so steadfast in any opinion, you can put money behind that opinion and express it in the market. I'll express how I interpret reality, even though apparently I'm not old enough to be able to critically think. And you guys, if you're strong enough in your opinions, you can also put your money where your mouth is and express it via the market on anything. It could be an individual such as Elon, Tesla's trading. It could also be the larger market, treasuries, fixed income, whatever it is, you can probably find a way to express that opinion in the market. And you definitely can with other secondary markets, such as like Kohrs event-based markets. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can, which is interesting. So we can sit here and argue it back and forth until we are blue in the face. Or if you have a strong enough conviction in your opinion, you could throw it on the market. And then if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. But there is an objective way to measure if your subjective opinion is right or wrong. I bought gold last week. We're not getting out of this administration with a strong dollar or country. Out of the administration, that's probably not right. The next 2 years is a different story. Potential legit breakout. We are getting this zone here has now changed. What the fuck happened there? Okay. Puts are getting closed out again on the Mag 7 as calls are being purchased. But look at this. Some puts are being closed, but we literally just hit the most aggressive puts of the day at 1042. But anyway, the puts are ramping up and the calls are ramping up. I want this put line to get back above the zero starting point. Like there's still net put purchasing, which I just don't understand. But in terms of where we could be watching now, There's a node at 5765, and then there's a big node at 5790. All right, so let's change this. This is the current updated levels that I care about. Remember, when we have these levels, it's dynamic. People can actively change, so it changes how the market makers are going to have to react. So this is the current situation. But I do want to point out to all of you, Elon lovers and haters, that there's a lot of action up here at 5. Let me just load this up to make sure that we are getting the most recent data. Let's do a quick little refresh. Okay, this is the volume being traded. A lot of volume at 5775, volume at 5790, volume at 5800, and then we have a node all the way out here at 40 and 50. That's just crazy. We have 5790. So this is the next big gamma area, 5790. Look at all those sold calls. That's why we are seeing such a giant magnet zone here. Remember, this will be tough to break because these players, excuse me, I'm on the wrong screen. These players are saying we are not going above this. So that's going to be natural resistance. So definitely in the short term, watch 5765. But this dash line up here is going to be massively important for, do we actually break and hit some of these larger targets? But right here, you could see all those sold calls, lots of sold calls. What do we have here? We have these nodes, 5790, yeah, right here. This is the volume of today. You could see we're kind of breaking one resistance and running right up to another. Interesting note out here at 5825. Very interesting note out here, 5825 and 5850. That's a big stretch because first we have to clear what's becoming very important, right? Let me go to the 3-minute on this. For this to really be pulled off, 5790. Watch this. Little bit of a short-term target, 5765, but obviously just make sure you are paying attention to huge ramp right there. Calls were purchased, puts were closed out, and then we got this big ramp up, and now we're kind of going flat, but still, even though price is going up, I do find it concerning that the delta highs are going lower and lower and lower. So spike. The spikes on the delta reading is less, even though price is trending up, which is interesting because if we actually do pop and those puts get closed out, that means that there's more fuel in this tank to really get going. But it's also, it's kind of playing with fire to be basing it off of that when there's very evident divergence, lower delta reading, but higher price. A little bit of a mismatch there. That is not true in the Mag 7. The Mag 7 is just fucking ripping. Tesla ripped all the way up until 1032, now going flat. NVIDIA, what the fuck? Holy shit. Someone spanked NVIDIA on the ass because that thing is going. You guys didn't even tell me. Look at that. What the fuck? You guys were making me argue about who is and isn't a Nazi this entire time when we just missed out on the fact that NVIDIA just popped. Holy cow, dude. What else do we have going on? MSTR, bullish up until about 1020, giving some of it back now. Palantir, bullish up until about 1050, giving a little bit back now. Apple, not really doing anything. Microsoft, not really doing anything, but bearish actually. Meta, bullish, but not really doing anything right now. Amazon, bullish up until 10, not really doing anything at the moment. ASML, not really doing anything. Netflix, actually down. Netflix is getting hit. What else do we have? What are the other popular ones that you guys like? I'm trying to think. I think we already went through the most popular of stocks. Is there anything that I'm missing? Coin, bullish up until 1020, kind of going a little flat right now. Is there another one? NVIDIA, I'm trying to think. I think we got all the popular stocks. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, now the SPY. Dude, this is some weird action. Puts were closed out. Little call profit locked in. Am I? Okay, I guess. Okay, at this point, now I should be setting it to break even. It would be dumb. So my stop's at break even. this is my one trade of the day. If it's either going to stop me out for break even and then I make 250 because I already locked one in. Remember, I went long 2 contracts, or it goes all the way up here and I'm able to lock in 1,500 per account on 25 accounts. That'd be a nice 37.5K on top of all the options. So I don't think this is my first 100K day of the year. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure I've already had a 100K day. Yeah, I have, because we had some 60K and then 40K in options. So if this really does get going, like if we get going crazy, there's a chance that this might be my first $100,000 trade, but we've already had 100K days. But in terms of individual trades, I just need this little ditty here to double up. So, I mean, that could get going. So that would be wild. If I see 100K, you bet your bottom dollar I'm locking that in. And then on this one, the closest would be SPX, but this one's farther out. That's April 4th. So I would need this one to really get going for that. So it seems kind of far away. I don't think it's going to be a 100K day, but I don't think it's going to be a 100K individual trade, unless the only chance that would happen is if we actually see this region get hit today, which as of right now, with the weird mismatch in the market, it doesn't seem likely, but who knows what the afternoon's going to bring. But if we get to this zone, I think it becomes more likely. Oops, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I wanted to do that. If we get up into here, the math should work. But that's a big if, a giant if, in fact, because we're not seeing the puts capitulate. And we also have massive resistance at 5,790. Massive resistance at 5,790. So we're kind of just waiting for this to see if it does break, to see if the put side can chill and if we could get a nice follow through to 5,790. I wouldn't mind if we just have a slow grind up to it. I'm watching, obviously, Tesla, NVIDIA, MicroStrategy, Palantir on top of it. They all look pretty interesting. How do you feel about 275 Tesla calls for Friday? Got it at open today. I think you're playing too short of a time frame. I think one of the biggest issues that I see when looking at other retail traders is they don't give themselves enough time when buying premium. So I think a good general rule of thumb is whatever time you think you need, just double it. Just double it. So if you think, it's going to go this week, a good rule of thumb is just to double it up. Maybe not the biggest issue, but a huge issue with this premium stuff is just not giving yourself enough time. And now we're just waiting. We're just waiting. Oh, if you want to know my, I guess, thoughts and opinions on Tesla, like that update video came out right here. That video came out yesterday. Where is it? Videos. It's also up on Rumble, but Tesla short squeeze. So all my thoughts and reasoning are there. It's a quick 13-minute video. So if you want to watch it on double speed, it'll take you 6 to 7 minutes to kind of see what I think is going on with old Tesla. So like I give you a lot more of the stats, facts, and figures there of what I currently see going on that. Obviously the video is up. It's up on Rumble. It's up on YouTube. It is free. It went out yesterday. And if you're searching it, the title is Squeeze Alert, Why I'm Buying Tesla Stock Right Now. And obviously thus far it's played out pretty well. So if you're interested in the Tesla trade, I recommend you watch that. And like I said, it's a freebie. It's a freebie, and I'm just painfully dude, I've been in this trade for seemingly ever right now. Seemingly forever, but I'm not going to lose anything. I've already locked in one contract. It was a 2-contract trade. I locked in one at 250, and the stop is now at break even. And then I have my max profit based on the consistency rules all the way up there at 375. This will be my one and only trade of the day. So if this trade ends up getting hit after today's show, which it will because we're already done with the show, just know I'm either making $250 or 1,500. I might move the trailing stop up, but basically my numbers aren't going to go below 250. I would much rather that we just get like one of these situations where there's a nice trend line break and it just rips all the way up there. So that might actually be another pretty reasonable trade, trading this bull flag. There's your flagpole, lower highs, lower lows, a little bit of a channel, if you will, and then look for that breakout, and it might keep going, but that's the max that I'm going to allow myself to personally go for today. All right, folks. That's what I have for you. Obviously, a very special shout out to Public, today's stream partner. That's where I'm doing almost all of my major options trading. And the answer for that is simple. It's the best place to trade options. No other brokerage I know of, and I'm pretty sure it just doesn't exist, will give you a rebate every single time you trade options. I almost have $6,000 worth of rebates, which you get for just literally trading the contract. So I think it's awesome. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. If you want to start out at a higher rebate tier, because there are chunks to it, you'll start at a higher tier by using that link pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Remember, it is free to download, free to sign up. Definitely worthwhile for you guys to check out. I think you're really, really going to enjoy it. Obviously, if you have any more specific questions on options, on futures, all of that, the perfect place for you to interact with me and the rest of the Goonie team and all the people in the Goonie Discord is by signing up. Your first month is free anyway when you sign up on Locals there. That's the service that is going to be the payment processor and connect you to the Discord. So when you sign up on Locals to become a supporter, use that code Goonie and your first month is free. Once again, you have to enter that promo code. It's not just going to auto give it to you. You have to type in that promo code. That's what I have for you. What a way to start out the week. This is legitimately bullish. I gave you all those levels that I'm paying attention to. Obviously, if you're on Spot Gamma, you're going to want to see how the dynamics of it change throughout the day. What I'm seeing right now is we're almost in that lunchtime chop, so I wouldn't mind a little bit of a grind to the upside, but I'm hoping that this afternoon gives us that pump to 5825, 5850, and if it does, then there's that theoretical chance that maybe I could have my first 100K trade of the entire year, and I'm looking at that one SPX position. So I'm looking for a bit of an afternoon pump. Actually, in real time, what the hell is going on right now? I'm seeing some craziness. We just dropped. We just then quickly popped back. Did some news come out, or is it just, it might just be honestly 11 a.m. trade. Maybe someone had some bots that needed to do stuff right at 11. What's the flow looking like really quick? I just want to check this out. Yeah, someone executed something there. Longer duration calls got dropped and someone bought puts again. So the put buying is at the most extreme it's been all day. And then right here, the calls were flat, but someone just sold a chunk of calls like literally seconds ago. So that's why we just saw a little bit of a flush, but nothing too crazy. I don't think it was like news related. So anyway, that's what I have for you. Hope to see you in the Discord. Don't forget to check out Public. We'll be posting an update video tonight. It'll come out around 7 p.m. of everything I see in the market and what I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And then we'll be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. I hope to see you there. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all the good vibes. I hope you guys are all making a fuckload of money, and I'll catch you later on. Thank you. Peace.